Today, I'm joined by Carol Chenkin, founder and managing partner of CLC Enterprises, a full-service marketing powerhouse based in Boca Raton, Florida, with over 30 years of experience. Carol has led marketing campaigns for major brands like AT&T, American Express, and the U.S. Army and the New York Stock Exchange during her time at Young and Rubicam. She's also produced TV and film content like World of Guitar, helped raise millions through cause-based campaigns, and has now focused on helping brands grow through innovative strategy, leveraging AI and social media and storytelling at her agency. She's finally focused on creating her own brand and telling her own story. So I'm excited to learn more about that. Carol, welcome to the show. Jumping straight in for agency owners that, have already started to pass that multi-million dollar mark. When you were scaling your agency to that level, what was the one growth lever that made the biggest difference? And what do you feel like most founders overlook at that stage?
I think that it's personal relationships. Honestly, I believe that creating personal relationships and understanding truly that each client is different, that it isn't a cookie cutter situation. Yes, we use, the marketing principles, social media, back mail, website, advertising, whatever it might be. But the reality is, if you don't really understand your client's value proposition and have a rapport with them, then, it's really hard to help to continue to grow with them and also to help them grow. And we found that our clients are 8, 10, 15. We have clients 20 years because we grow with them, right? I believe that if our clients are successful, it is because we are helping them to be successful, which means that we're being successful. And it's a win-win situation. I call it partnership selling. When we work together as partners to create a greater growth opportunity for a client, then we work for them, right? And I always say to a client when they come on, we're your partner. If something good happens, you need to tell me about it. If something bad happens, you need to tell me about it. We need to help you. You got to
Thanks for
keep us
sharing.
in the know.
And that concept of partnership selling is a really interesting concept for agency owners that are trying to reach multi seven, eight figures. How would you recommend them starting to leverage partnership selling?
Well, leveraging it is also one of the things that we do so well. It's come really a strategic partner. So what I do is I take the existing client and I look at all of the value proposition relationships that I have created throughout my tenure in this world of marketing. Realize that those are valuable assets. So, for example, we could be working with a jewelry company and they want to create an opportunity to get jewelry in front of potential buyers, right? Well, I also work with nonprofits, and the nonprofits want to make money. So we make a strategic connection to allow the nonprofit to do some fundraising with this jewelry company. And now all of a sudden that's a win-win, right? We've now put two companies that need growth and opportunity and
Wow,
added
that's
value
really cool. So
proposition.
you're actually acting as a high level strategist.
I mean, in my opinion, marketing is strategy, right? You need to understand client budget. You need to understand client direction and what they're trying to achieve, short term, long, and then figure, lack of a better word, the play the play here. Like, what are we going to do? How are we going to move them down the football field to get them to the end zone so they can score? Scores are little scores, right? It's like, we may not hit the home run and get like major sales, but if we're moving the needle and it's going in the positive direction, and a lot of times that's what our clients need, right? So they can reinvest. If they small wins, they're always like, okay, good. Then I have more money to put back to that marketing and to green. And so we like to have achievable goals. And sometimes those goals, I just had this conversation with a client yesterday, are not always tangible in the sense that they may not be hard dollars, but they are too, and say, like, they both are meaningful. They both too, because if you're getting a story, an article in a newspaper, maybe it's not the biggest newspaper in the world, but that footprint. You're creating a footprint. You're creating an impression. Those impressions, if you do that throughout the year, and then you end up with hundreds of thousands of impressions of eyeballs that have now seen your name, your company, your whatever, that is going to translate. It's going to translate to people knowing you by going to your website, for people possibly clicking to buy, for people to want to support your event, whatever it might be. So, do you see it always right away? No, but the
That makes
actual
sense.
transaction.
Thanks for sharing. So for other agency owners that are listening, there's always that awkward stage where growth, fulfillment, and sales are at capacity. So when you first started to cross that mark where you had to start to hire team members or start to bring on sales rep, what were the constraints that you felt and how did you fix those?
I think that there has to be an overwhelming belief in yourself that you got this. And when you don't, you got this, because you have to be in it to win it. That's science. And I say it to myself. Um, no one's going to do it for you, so to speak, right? You have to want to believe that what your product is, what your services are, those are going to make a difference. So if you do, and then you find the right partner who amplify to create moving down the football field, you're going to win. But for me, it's always been like, I'm my biggest salesperson. I am constantly out networking, talking to people, building relationships, and many times I am talking to people and it's a pay it forward, like, hey, let's have the conversation now. You don't have the money, you don't have the time right now to do this. Ready, here's what I would do for you, right? And it paid off so many times. I had a client yesterday that I think I've been talking to for 7 or 8 years, and he basically said to me, "I want one last hurrah. I've tried all these different put myself in your hand." So, um, you know, relationships are key in any business, but keeping the door open and, being someone that will always be there to always able to answer a question. You have a situation? Let me be your sound.
That's awesome.
Great.
And you mentioned a couple times, Carol, that client relationships and keeping them on board has been one of your strong suits. Segueing into your next chapter and everything that you've learned from your years at other agencies, working with big brands, now obviously working inside of your own successful agency. What is the next chapter for you? What's the next story?
Well, for me, about 7 ago, I'm at a point in my life, um, sort of looking in Europe, but at the same time looking forward, that I have aspirations that I've always wanted to do for myself, and that there's no time like the present, right? I have an agency, it's working well, we have a good staff, I have the ability to lean on people, and I'm ready now to try to take what I've done for other people in a way that I never did before. Personally launching, which is my own brand, that, in very little time, in 5.5 months, 6 months almost, we've grown a nice social base and have begun to use that to create affiliates, ambassadorships. And it shows me that learned and what I've applied to other people, I am successful in already applying to myself, and it's very exciting. We've gotten some great, deals already and great companies that have said to us that we'd like you to come on board. It's
And can
volumes.
you share what the brand or the product is and some details on it?
I mean, I'm basically right now doing affiliate marketing and influence art and for Target. And I have a number of brands that might not be level, but dermatology, Dulce Vita. These are, some skincare area and in apparel fashion. Those are my personal, they always have been. And so I am taking the stature of where I am, which is I'm 60 years old, and using that, say, listen, I've learned a lot in these 6, and I want to share my passions about fashion and beauty and skincare and all of those things, share it with people who are my younger. Um, it's resonating. So, you never know when you take the leap, right? If what you think for others, you can have a very good eye because you're not personally in it. And sometimes you question, can you professionally and personally do it for yourself? And I have been successful in doing that. I think I have been able to really apply all of the knowledge that I have learned and use to now successfully in a very short period of time, because we do have a rollout plan, a clear rollout
Wow,
phase 2 right now.
congratulations. And you do not look 60 at all. I
Thank
am
you.
curious because I know that launching something like this takes a lot of time, effort, and energy. And so, what did you have to have in place in your already successful agency to free up your time to be able to shift your focus to more passion projects and things that you want to do for yourself? Mm.
So I would say first and foremost, the absolute burning desire to really finally want to do this, because this is something I use my weekends, my night times, my I do not let what I have done or what I am doing impact in any way for my clients. They come first. And I have assembled a team that has taken on greater responsibility because they also believe in the project and their weekend time to commit to it. And we all have made a commitment to a timeline. But before I started, there was a very well thought out plan. We literally figured out, or I did, along with my husband who works with me on them, has been an unbelievable big supporter of this in strategy. But he has 30 plus years of experience as marketing. He's an accountant by trade. Together, the assets that we have, we say it's lens, right? So, you know, we really do understand from different perspectives, and he's the yin and yang to what I'm trying to do here. I just think that it's the commitment to that I want to do this, that I've got the right team around me.
So it's not like just winging it. It's no, it's a very structured, organized plan that you're executing, and you have the team and the power.
Yeah, I mean, not to bore anyone with the details here, but when you're doing this, the only way this works, like you do with any campaign, is to have an understanding of what does every week, month look like, long term, short term, and long term. And we did a plan that, by November, December, January, we were going to have this many followers, and we were going to do these posts, and we're going to have this many platforms set up. Today I'm posting 3 to 4 times a day, content on the weekend. We are, so that we can create significantly interesting posts on any given day. We're optimizing those posts. We're putting them all on, every platform that you can think of. We utilize AI to give us insight into what we're doing. Like, it's letting me know, hey, you're doing great, but you're falling short here. And that helps me what I need to do to pick it up. And great. We are learning how to prompt. Really, Mike Money has become a great prompter, and understanding how to manipulate that AI. We also are taking things like, many chat GBT and, buffer and, CapCut. So we're utilizing a lot of different things in order to
That's
streamlined
awesome.
and
And
as
that was
stealth as
actually one of
possible.
the questions I wanted to talk to you about was like, how is a successful agency like yourself leveraging AI? You already spoke to how you're doing it internally there. How are you?
Yeah, all I can say, is if who are not taking advantage of it, I urge you to, right? Because it doesn't mean you're giving any less service to your clients. What a better, um, giving you the ability to give better service to your client. Because if it's not, I don't know when, you will be left behind. And I mentor at least 1 to 2 students a semester. And one things I say to them is, it's kind of critical that when you're studying right now, if they give you the opportunity to take classes on AI, take them. And if they don't, find a way to do it, because the person who comes out of school with the better prompting skills and then can apply it to the field that they're in is going to, there's no in my mind, right? And, that doesn't mean that we're letting it write the stories for our clients, or that what we're letting them do is, you know, show me some of the competitors, tell me what we might be missing, give me some insight that I can't see, because we can't know everything too, right? People today used to use Google for search, right? Google's use at GBT, right? If you go on today and you see that, if you go on social media at the top of your feed, you see that AI is there. There isn't, it's not using it.
See you later.
I don't know what to
Good
say.
luck. Carol, was there anything today that you wanted to for sure discuss or talk about? Was there anything top of mind other than your story?
No, I mean, I think that my story, I think, is just a natural weave in a way to what I have done my whole life. And I think the overarching message is that in the first phase of my life, I was really business phase, I should say. I was really excited and committed to wanting to learn and be the best at what I do for the clients that I serve, whether that be in the nonprofit area or that be for profit. These companies um, relaunching Perrier, after they had the benzene scare, or dealing with Tylenol when they're pulled off the market. When you're dealing with very serious subject matters and then you're trying to figure out how to market those companies again, you're using strategy. As I grew and I applied all of the things I learned and branched out into the nonprofit world and helped nonprofits to do what they do as a business, and making sure that they are branding themselves in a way that people know who they are so that they can raise money, that grew into helping them do events. And I became more proficient at doing that. And every step of the way, think I've grown and tested myself. And so now in this next phase, it's giving myself the ability to test myself, to grow, so that I can now do this for myself and continue clients learn from. So, that's really it. I mean, if you love what you're doing, honestly, somebody said, I guess, you're never really working, because you get up every day and you really, trust me, everyone has a bad day, but I enjoy doing what I do, and, being connected to the people I work with, the
That's
clients that
awesome.
I've had have
That's
been a
a great
privilege.
piece of advice for any marketing agency owner who's trying to get to whatever level of success that they want to get to, whether it's multi six, multi seven, multi eight, nine figures. If you can enjoy what you're doing, I think it makes it a little bit easier. Thanks for sharing. Where can people find you, and where can people find out more about the things that you're working on?
So you can learn about the Carol Chenkin website by visiting CLCEN.com. That's where our corporate site lies. That's where our clients um, is available. And if you want to learn more about what I'm doing personally, you can visit caroleecalling.com, the newly launched website that's showcases what I'm doing as a brand. And I also have
And I'm sure
social
they're all
media,
there
and
as
it's the
well.
same. Yeah,
Awesome. Awesome.
they're all there.
Carol, thank you so
They're
much
all
for your
there.
time today. It's been a pleasure. You're
Thank
welcome.
you. It's been a pleasure to talk.